So welcome everyone. This is your host, Jeffrey Pinzon. Welcome to another episode of Unleash Your Power. Today we have the great pleasure of doing a virtual interview. Despite this whole pandemic, we're still making things happen. And today I have the honor of interviewing Miss Alejandra Font. She is one of the co-owners of the Camp Transformation Center, which is a phenomenal company. They have over 110 plus locations. I believe they have even more now. And they also have some in Mexico, so they're doing it internationally as well. If you guys have not been to one of their camp centers, I highly recommend that you guys go out there because the environment is second to none, man. When it comes to working out, like I've been in many different gyms, but I always go back to the camp. The reason why is because the environment. You feel at home. You feel that you're with people that are gonna push you. They're not judging you. So if you want to lose weight, if you want to transform your life, I highly recommend that you go to one of their camps. And today we have the pleasure of interviewing one of the co-owners. How amazing is that? So thank you, Alejandra, for taking the time on Memorial Day to sit down with us. It's crazy how we're doing this with this whole pandemic, getting adjusted to these interviews. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking your time.
Thank you, Jeffrey. What a nice introduction. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you feel that way about the camp. I'm glad you've experienced it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I remember I met Jesus and Robert, the ones from the Pico camp.
Right.
And I'm like, man, what is this all about? Like the camp, boot camp and all this. And I went and I was hooked, man.
Yeah.
I was doing 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock,
Wow.
And I was just out there. And it felt good, man. A little bit about me, like I was born with a small leg, so I was very self-conscious to go to gyms. And I didn't like showing my leg or anything. And going there, like I didn't care, man. It helped me, my self-esteem, and become more confident on who I am because
that's awesome.
I was transforming my life. So, Alejandra, a little bit of how's life for you today, man? How's life for you before we get started? How's life currently right now at this moment for you and your family?
Well, thankfully we're all, I can't complain. We're all healthy and well. We have food and, a roof over our heads, and no one that I actually know is sick, as far as COVID. So in that sense, I think we're really lucky. We're really blessed. So I really can't complain. It is tough to be, on lockdown, but, I think a lot of people have it much tougher than we have had it the past, 8 weeks or so.
Right. And how does it feel to be a successful woman and building a business with your husband and seeing your kids grow? You have 2 amazing kids. So how does that feel right now in this moment, being at the level that you're at right now?
Well, I mean, it's cool, but I don't really feel like, oh my God, I've reached success and, I'm done. I feel like it's never going to be over. Your vision continues to grow. You continue to want more, to aspire for more. So I think, as we reach certain levels of success, we continue just to grow more and want more and see that there's more available for us, more possibilities for us.
Love it. So I don't feel
like I'm done. I'm good. I think there's still a lot that we can accomplish.
That's amazing. So I want you to take us back a little bit before your success, before all this, like all of us in life, we have good chapters, bad chapters, chapters that are painful, chapters that make you grow, that you grow through pains and everything. So I want you to take us back to, if you and I were 16, 17 years old in high school, who was Alejandra Font in high school? Who was that young lady?
That's funny. Okay, cool. So that's fun. I was the girl that, in high school, kind of friends with everyone, not like the most popular, but I had a lot of friends, not into sports whatsoever, not so much into school. I wasn't crazy about, getting like great grades and stuff. I did enough to graduate and I ended up going to college and everything, but I wasn't like that A student whatsoever. Just kind of hung out with my girlfriends and, just very normal, not into sports. Like I said, not really into extracurricular activities. I was on the homecoming corps and did like some other photograph, like a Miss Viewfinder, more of like girly type things that I was involved in. I was in the dance club. That's the only club I was in. So I was not like sporty or anything. So it's kind of weird that I ended up in fitness,
Wow, yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah. So how did you transition from that? You say you went to college. What did you major in college?
My major in college was sociology, but I actually didn't graduate college until I was 30 years old. So right after high school, I started working, and I took that, that 10-year college
Break.
road. So
Okay.
I always worked full time ever since I graduated high school. And I just took classes slowly but surely until I finally transferred to Cal State LA and was able to actually graduate from Cal State LA with a degree in sociology. The reason I chose sociology was literally I looked at the book, because back then it was like books of all the different majors, and you see the classes, and it was the major that required the least amount of math.
Oh wow.
Which is hilarious, because now, being a businesswoman, I should have actually probably studied business, but whatever.
That's awesome. So I'm guessing you didn't like math in high school, or not, you didn't like
No,
the numbers.
no, no, and I
Okay.
still don't love them.
Awesome. So from right there, which one was your first job when you were in
Um,
college?
after college,
Yeah, yeah.
After college, I had been working while I was going through the end of my college years. I had been working at for a developer out in Ontario, a real estate developer. And I started there as an office manager, and I ended up working my way up to a leasing manager, and I totally loved it. You dealt with so many issues in construction. There's so much going on. People that are in real estate could probably relate. If you're in development, there's so much to deal with. You have the landlord, the potential tenants that are coming in, dealing with the contractors, dealing with the city and city approvals. So that school, so to speak, was a really good way to kind of understand business and understand how to navigate through obstacles and become resourceful and, getting the answer that you want. Because with development, with construction development, there is a lot of like roadblocks, definitely.
Right. And also dealing with people, right? Like
Totally.
communicating with people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So after that, you started getting into the fitness industry, and I know that you competed a couple of times, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
That's
So
amazing.
thank you. After I had my kids, both my kids, I was like maybe 32 at the time. I decided I wanted to change my body. I was never overweight, but I was like a skinny fat. I just wasn't happy with my physical appearance. So I started, just looking into just researching, doing my own research, reading books and looking through magazines and, Googling everything on how to change your body. So I started learning how to lift weights and the proper nutrition. And I really started to see a dramatic change in my body.
Wow.
And then women at the gym were approaching me and asking me for guidance and help. And that's when this whole thing kind of took on a life of its own. I started realizing that I really love fitness. When I started helping these women at the gym, this was just like LA Fitness. I'd be working out by myself, and I would help women that were asking me for help. And then I started a healthy cooking blog because I noticed that so many girls didn't know what to eat. And for me, it was kind of intuitive. Like you just get something and, try to make the healthier choices and, cut out the fat, and you can alter recipes. So when I would get so many questions on this, I figured, let me start a healthy cooking blog without the intention of monetizing it whatsoever. So I started that, and that was super fun. And people thought like I love cooking, and that's actually not the case. I just figured that people needed the information,
Wow.
so that's when fitness really started. This was probably like in 07, 05 to 07. I really started realizing I really love this fitness thing.
But what made you compete though? Because I know, like myself, I've lost weight right now, and I'm currently in the process of I was supposed to compete in June in one of the contests. Like, I hired my personal coach, and it's a lot of work, man.
It is.
At first, when I told him, he's like, man, he's like, what we're doing right now is gonna be 10 times harder. He's like, it's gonna be a lot of stuff that you're gonna have to put in work. You're gonna have to be very disciplined, very diligent. Mm-hmm. What made you go that route, despite you having 2 kids, your husband, and I'm pretty sure that your time was very limited too, right? Yeah. So what made you invest that time into your fitness and going out there and competing and winning and being exposed to people even more?
Yeah. It's something that I just wanted to try. It was becoming popular at the time. It's definitely not as popular as it is now. Mm-hmm. This was back in, I think I did my first show in 2010. And I figured, and by that time, we were already planning on opening the camp. My first competition was in June of 2010. We opened the camp in September. So we were already planning. And I figured it would help me, not only, of course, that's great, you get a physical transformation, like a major one, but I figured it would help give me more credibility as well, in the space that I was going into. And I thought, why not? I have nothing to lose. It could just help. It will only help me. It's not going to, negatively affect me in any way. So I figured I'd do it. And then I ended up doing a few shows. I actually didn't love doing shows whatsoever. But I just did it for the experience and just to kind of help give me more knowledge, because it is a good school that you go through when you're doing that.
I love it, because you were the walking billboard of the camp, right?
Right. Yeah.
You put in the work, you show them, you were the walking billboard. This is what you could do if you really stick and stay and do the workouts. That's amazing.
Right. Totally.
That's awesome. So how did the whole camp transformation start? Because I know there's so many gyms out there. There's LA Fitness, there's 24-hour fitness, there's a lot of different boot camps, there's boot camps from Herbalife, all kinds of stuff. Like, what made you guys go into that industry where it's very competitive, right? Would you agree?
Yeah.
It is very competitive. For sure. So what made you get in that in that space and compete with big companies?
Well, when we opened, this was 2010. At the time, you didn't really see a lot of the like boot camp type of gyms. Mm-hmm. CrossFit existed, and Orange Theory actually was founded, I think, the same year. So they weren't big at all. And a lot of these other concepts that you see now, they didn't even exist back then. So we were really actually new to the space. As far as boutique fitness goes, there wasn't a lot to compete with. But we saw that there was a big void in the fitness space. And the void was these companies were not paying attention to people that needed to lose weight. They were focusing on people that were already in shape. The ads were always like super fit people, doing like bicep curls and stuff. It was never geared for the mom that hasn't been to the gym in 25 years, that needs to lose 35 pounds, that feels uncomfortable about going to the gym, has no idea what to eat, has no understanding of the proper food for, great nutrition and losing weight, as opposed to just eating, whatever that she's used to eating, pasta and cheese. So we saw that there was that huge void. And, we took advantage of that, really.
That's amazing, because you guys solved a huge problem, right?
Huge, yeah. And it's still funny to me that no, there is not another national brand that I'm aware of that focuses on this market. And another thing is a lot of the concepts out there, like Soul Cycle, Barry's Boot Camp, even Orange Theory, they kind of cater toward the more affluent. Their memberships are, $200, $250 and above. And we don't. We cater to middle-class America. And those are the people that are lacking the information, that need to know how to eat right. Those are the people that have all the excess weight. These other people that can afford the, $200, $300 a month, a lot of times have access to that information. They have personal trainers, or, they just have more access to it. That's what we've seen in this market.
And I love that, because it's one of the things that I've read, and many people say this, like, if you want to be very successful, you must solve a huge problem. that there
Mm-hmm.
is out there. And
Right.
that's what you guys are doing. You guys are out there solving problems. You guys are expanding tremendously. I remember, man, this was, I must say like 5-6 years ago when they first opened. No, probably like 4 years ago when they opened the camp in Pico Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, I will see your billboards because I drive a lot. I do like about 6,000 miles a month. Just to put it that way, like I do a lot of driving. So I will see your billboards on the 210 freeway, on the 605.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, what is that camp? And then when they opened in Pico, I'm like, well, let me go check that out. Let me see what this thing is all about. And it's huge because the people that are out there, like when I will go out, like super friendly. They just wanted to win. They just needed a platform where they could win and they could feel confident that they're capable of winning.
Right.
Like going to LA Fitness, going to 24-hour fitness, people are looking at there are already a lot of people that are fit there that you feel very you don't feel comfortable. Yeah, intimidated. Yeah, exactly. You feel very intimidated.
Yeah. So and those gyms don't give you the knowledge on like what to eat and stuff. So a lot of people go and they're like, I don't know, I was on the treadmill for 30 minutes, but I'm still not losing weight because they're going home and eating the wrong things.
100%. Because of the camp, I started meal prepping. I didn't know what meal prepping was. I'll eat once or twice a day, and I thought that was okay. Yeah. I thought by me not eating, I was gonna benefit. And then I'm like, no, you gotta eat 5 meals a day. I'm like, 5 meals a day? Like, how am I gonna put 5 meals a day? I'm like, that's a lot of food. I'm not gonna lose weight. But I started trusting the process, and I started learning about why you're supposed to eat and what foods to eat. Which is huge because you could be working out, but if you're not eating, eating the right things, you're being counterproductive.
Exactly, it's a waste. It's really a waste of time.
So from right there, Alejandra, like what made you open the camp with Sam and your husband, and how was your first location? Because I've seen as I was doing my homework, like I started Googling and YouTubing some of the videos, and I saw like some of the videos when you guys didn't even have mats or anything, and you guys just got started. And that's the part, because sometimes we paralyze ourselves because we want to have everything perfect. And we're like, oh no, we need to have the weights, we need to have everything settled, the mats, and like you guys just took action.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like what made you guys do that? Was it, how were you guys financially at that moment, and what space were you guys in?
Okay, so I love this because I think a lot, like you said, a lot of people think everything needs to be like perfect, and you have to have all the things in place. My husband and I had another business. We had just closed our doors. So after the real estate development that I worked for, I went to work with him a few years later. And because he had a business, a direct sales company, he was doing very well. I was helping him. Everything was great. The only bad thing about that is that we didn't have passion for what we were doing. We literally hated every day. But we kept going because it was our source of income, and we were making a good living, and it was our own business, etc.
What type of business was it? That one?
It was direct sales. It was like housewares and vacuum cleaners.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah. So he did that for many years, and then in 2008 2009 we ended up closing our doors because of the recession. You remember all that back then. Everyone was buying our stuff because the economy was great. So once the economy went down, we ended up closing our doors, and we found ourselves in a position with, a home, our bills, 2 little kids. At the time, the boys were very small, and we didn't have an income. And we figured we knew we wanted to do something on our own, each of us, but we wanted to monetize our passion because we had been in this other company for many years, and we just were miserable. We literally hated going to the office every day, and we just hated everything about it. So I said to him, like, I really want to do something in fitness, that I realized that that's what I love. And he started doing something else in like coaching, like sales coaching. So we went kind of our separate ways, so to speak, different businesses. And then that's when I started, what happened was, I would get approached at the gym, like I told you, but then I figured, let me become a personal trainer and like start making money and kind of learning the business. So Sam, our partner, had a small personal training gym at the time. It was called Fitness Concepts. And we had known Sam. We had actually been clients of his a couple of years prior. So I went to Sam and I said, hey, Sam, I really want to learn this business. Can I come and work for you for a couple months? He said, yeah, totally. So I went, I worked with him for like 3 months. And then within that time, I said to him, I want to do this, but I don't want to just be a trainer. I want to open my own, thing. Do you want to partner up? I felt like I needed a partner in that fitness space because I didn't have the real fitness background. I had only been doing it, personally for myself. So I thought he has a business. He's been in business for several years. Let me ask him. And he's a total entrepreneur. So he's like, yeah, let's do it. So within, I worked for him for like 3 months, and quickly we said, we figured it out and we went out and made it happen. It was literally like going out and figuring. We opened the camp with $9,000. Wow. Today it takes like a turnkey location is like $200,000 to open. So, I mean, you can imagine it. Like you saw in the videos, bare floors, concrete on the floors, some really cheesy graffiti on the walls, some fans about this big. It was a warehouse and it was like fans like this big. So it was so hot in there. Very little equipment. A little boombox on the floor. We just took action. We went for it. There was no like how-to book on how to open a, boutique fitness or a boot camp. We just did what we thought was right. And, without really knowing much at all, aside from like knowing how to help people lose weight. But then we had experience, both obviously him and us had experience in prospecting, in following up on leads, in closing sales. We knew from the very beginning that a business will not survive without sales. And every day we had to be selling. So it didn't look very nice, but people came and they loved it. And that what you mentioned, the culture, at the beginning, like how you felt when you went. And that was something that existed from the very start. I was there all day long. I taught every single class at the beginning, and I poured my heart and soul into each and every client. I knew their name, their story, their husband, their kids, everything about them, because it was always me there. And, it was something that I loved doing. So it was fun, in addition to helping people lose weight, but just getting to know people and going through the journey with them was super fun. So it just kind of organically really happened. But of course, we were very intentional with that sales process.
I love that, man. And you could tell the passion that you have just by you sharing that with us. And I love how you, Sam, and your husband, you guys complement each other, right?
Oh, yeah.
You guys are good at at different things. Like when you guys come together, is like you guys become an unstoppable force. And totally. Having the culture, having the sales experience, having the prospecting, having the right type of workouts, the environment, like everything it's just compounded, right? And totally. Connected, and that's amazing. So when you guys got started, were your intentions like, man, like we're going to make this nationwide, we're going to make it international, or it was just like, let's just get this one going? Or did you guys have a big plan of like expanding and franchising, or how did that come about?
No, our vision wasn't quite that, ambitious back then. No, it was just, let's get this one going. And, within 1 year, we opened in 2010, by 2012, we had our second location, but we just figured we would have about 5 locations in the local area. We never, ever even considered franchising. So we knew we wanted more than one, but we didn't think it would get to, this level and now what we're after either.
Wow. So how did that come about? Like the franchising, was it people that started reaching out to you?
Yeah. Okay. People, every single one of our franchisees, 100% of them have come from within, either staff members or clients.
Wow.
And, the very first one was one of the girls. She was a Fontana client. And she's like, asking us to franchise. We're like, we don't franchise. No, but come on, you know, she just convinced us. And so we went to an attorney. We drew up it wasn't even a franchise back then. It was a licensing agreement. And then when we got to like 70 locations, franchise, we weren't really a franchise, legal franchise. So we had to go and do because becoming a franchise in California is it's complicated. It's a pain. So you have to go through a lot of different jump through hoops, and the state has to approve you, and etc. So we had to go ahead and do that. That's expensive. So we were kind of pushing that off, but we got to the point where we had to do it because we were getting too big.
Got it. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. It was good. It was exciting. We became a franchise in 2017.
So along the way, Alejandra, like what are some challenges that you guys encounter? I'm sure that you guys lost people as you guys were growing that didn't fit your vision or your culture. How did you deal with that, and how did you adapt with everything that building one camp to now having 110 plus locations? Like, what was the process of like the whole culture and adapting to every personality? Because I'm sure that you guys encounter totally different personalities in every camp.
Totally. Yeah. You know, it's funny. The first, maybe 80 locations, it was the first maybe 8 years or so. It was pretty, I don't want to say easy, but it kind of, I don't want to say problem free either, but I don't know. I don't really get affected so much by problems. It's now as we've gotten bigger that the obstacles and hurdles are just much larger. Yeah, they're just much larger. Now my time is, I deal with like 5 different attorneys. I deal with accountants, with insurance people, like everything except fitness. It's crazy. So now I feel like the job has gotten not as fun because it's more of the like just operating this big business. And before it was being with the clients and, helping people lose weight. And so it's definitely gotten a lot more tedious and more emotionally kind of draining because it's a lot. A lot of people are counting on you. Especially with the franchisees, they've invested their whole life sometimes, maybe they've cashed out their 401k or they've gotten loans and stuff on our idea. And so it's a huge responsibility that we have to them to, make this company a national brand, a household name, that's our promise. So it's a little daunting at times, but we love it. I want to keep growing and stuff, but it's just, I want to just point out that it's evolved so much from when we first started and I was just teaching classes and, closing sales to now what my role has transformed into is so, so different. And of course I've grown so much as a person, as a businesswoman. Like I am so not the person I was 10 years ago, 8 years ago, even 3 years ago. So that's been really cool to kind of see my own evolution as well as the company's.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think, you deal with a lot of like people issues, of course, that comes with any business, right? And I've learned to now not take things personal. At first I would, and I would be like, my God, that person, how could they do that to me, whatever. And now it's like, it's not personal. If they did something, they think they're okay, but I don't think they think that they're trying to harm me. That's just, their head. And I need to just worry about my own, what's good for me, but it's not personal usually.
Yeah, the majority of the time it's not. It's on them, right? So how did you get to that mindset? Because a lot of people could relate to what you just said right now, that they're taking things personal. This whole pandemic, they're taking it personal. They're shutting down. They don't wanna take responsibility and ownership of what they could control, which is control the controllables, right? How did you start working on that mindset, and how did you evolve from Alejandra 5 years ago, 3 years ago, like you said, or when you started the camp? what supported you in your growth process? Because yeah, like you said, like the Alejandra that you are today is not the same Alejandra that was starting at the camp. So
Totally.
what did you have to do in order for you to evolve, work on your mindset? And I love what you said is like, you don't see the problems. There's only obstacles and challenges that are in your way. You just gotta get through them, right?
Yeah, totally.
There's nothing negative and about what you just said right there. Like the way that you put it together is amazing, because sometimes we focus on the negative part, which you focus on expense all the time, whether it's good or bad.
Right.
So I love that. I caught that. I'm like, man, that's like you're focusing on the good things, and when you feel good, you do good, you get good, right?
Yeah.
You get more good out of it. So how did you transform from that mindset and evolving to the Alejandra that you are today?
Yeah. I've always, thankfully, like just by nature, I've always been a very positive person. I always try to see the positive in everything. And with dealing with, disappointments maybe in the past and seeing how it made me feel, and working more on myself and realizing that I'm able to just make a decision, and whatever decision I make will dictate how I'm going to feel inside and how I'm going to execute. It's not the other person doing me wrong. It's how I interpret that. So I decided, like, it's a matter of, flicking the switch in your head and making that decision. And back then, 10 years ago, I wasn't really aware that we have that power within us. And now it's like, if anything affects me, I know it's me. It's on me. I need to just make that switch. I have that power.
So how did you become aware of that power? Because we all have it, right?
Yeah.
So was it
experience
through books?
Experience definitely helped, but also just educating myself, reading. I watch like YouTube videos all the time on, the power that we have from within, motivation, personal development. I absorb all that stuff. I love all that stuff. My first kind of introduction to it was The Secret, the book, The Secret. And then after The Secret, I started reading The Power, and books very similar to that, also like Tony Robbins as well, Think and Grow Rich. So I just absorb all that stuff a lot of the time. Probably like I've never really listened to music unless I'm having people over at my house. Usually like in the car, when I'm working out, if I'm working out on my own and not in a camp class, I'm just listening to like podcasts on something that's going to be educating me. Even at night, like watching TV, I go to my TV, but I put YouTube videos in, so I see them large, and I'm watching interviews on that type of, personal development. I really work on myself a lot.
Huge, right? That's why you have the success that you have.
No, I think I think we have to work on ourselves. It's just like you work on your body, right? You can't, stop going to the gym for a week. You're not going to see the results that you wanted. Same with your mind. You have to continue to feed it all the positive things and all the good things. So yeah, I'm very, very, very like open to that. Like that's all I want. I try not to allow any negativity into my realm. Like I just reject it.
I love that. You stand guard at the door of your mind, which is huge. Totally. And one of the things that you said is like you always look at the good things in every situation. Wayne Dyer, one of my favorite quotes, man, I share this with everybody. He says, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change automatically.
Yeah, true. So true. It's so true.
Yeah, that stuck with me, and I'm like, man, like it's all about perspective, right?
Yeah.
How you view what you do is gonna affect how you do what you do.
Right. Absolutely.
You could see it as a challenge, or you could see it as an opportunity. Like especially like an example, you guys were growing the camp, and you guys didn't have all the proper tools and everything. You guys could see it as an opportunity for you guys to grow, or you guys could have seen it like, you know what, this is not for us. Right. And we did a huge mistake. We just lost $9,000.
Right.
But you guys saw it as an opportunity, and then the opportunity gave you more of that because that's where your focus was at. Right. So you started falling in love with the process. You started falling in love with the clients, and you did it with more passion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
because you
for
did it with
sure.
more passion, you attracted more of that, which is
Yeah.
amazing. So I gotta ask you, because I know, like, I'm married, I have two beautiful kids. My wife, right now we're venturing into building a business in the financial industry together. How is it working with your significant other? How has that been? Because I've been always working by myself. My wife stays at home. She has her side job selling online, but
Uh-huh.
we've never worked together. And I know that you and Louis, you guys are always together. How is that like?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, we're lucky. We get along really, really well at the camp. He probably came on board in like 2013, like full time. And we both have very different roles. We're both in operations, but we both have very different roles, responsibilities. And, that helps. And then the main thing that we both have for each other is respect. So it works very, very well. I mean, and we're together all the time, but we get along super well. But I think, like I said, respect is our number one thing.
Respect.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Respect his feelings. And I'm very and he is too, like, very empathetic. Like, I would never want to say anything to make someone feel bad. Like, that's never my intention. So I'm very like diplomatic in the way I say things. Like, I'll get my point across, but I'm never going to be mean about it.
Mm-hmm.
And and sometimes in business you might have different opinions and you could butt heads, but because of the fact that I navigate that way, it keeps us from maybe having an argument, because it's so easy to fight with your spouse, right, if you disagree. But it's because of the fact that I'm just kind of very very polite about anything that I don't like or whatever. So it works out really well. The fact that I'm
awesome.
so polite, I guess.
That's a plus right there.
No, he's polite too.
That's awesome. And now your kids are getting involved, right? Like, now I've seen that your son, I think he came out with a podcast as well, and he's one of your video guys. He's done a lot of your videos. How does that feel, like, now your kids being involved, man?
It's amazing. I am so proud of him. He's he's graduating high school this year, and he's going to be 19 in August. He's just impressed us so much. He's working with us at the camp, doing like videography, doing a lot of photography. And then he started his own thing with his brother, with our other son, a podcast. It's called Bulletproof Mindset. It's really cute, like for teens.
Love it.
And I know we're so proud, because, it's like what we preach at home, positivity, and now they come up with their own little product for teens. We're just so proud, and it's so much fun to work with him. I love it.
Was it coming from him? Like, he's like, Mom, I want to get involved in the camp. I want to do the videos. Or...
No, you know what? No, he started, we had another videographer at the camp, and we asked the videographer, because Alex loves filming. So we asked him to mentor Alex. And so Alex started working with this other guy, and then the other guy quit like in December. So we thought, we'll hire another one. But then we thought, well, let's just give this to Alex. Like, when projects would come up, just give it to Alex. And now he gets all the jobs. It's like he's learning, and he's going to go to school for cinematography. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And that's so cool, man, because I have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old. He's about to be 12, and I'm constantly instilling positivism, and they're reading books. Like right now, I have one of my son is reading a John C. Maxwell book on attitude.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
and
now,
how old is he?
He's 11.
He's 11. Wow, that's great.
Yeah. My daughter just read the Science of Getting Rich, and she's 9. So I'm training them in looking at you and your son and the way that you talked about him right now. Like, because you guys stepped up, he's stepping up. Mm-hmm. Because he's seeing your example. He's seeing that you guys are not settling. You guys want more out of life. You guys are constantly pushing. Like, man, your husband inspired me in getting back into my fitness, because I saw him. I'm like, dude, he's getting ripped. I'm like, man, if he could do it, I could do it. Like, what's my excuse? I'm like, doing it. And I'm constantly telling him, I'm like, man, like, good job, man. You inspired me. And it's like,
Oh,
because you guys are stepping up, your kids are stepping up. So I
yeah,
saw that in my kids. I'm like, man, if I could start them young, reading, getting all this information that is taking me this long to get it, if I could
totally,
start them at a young age, man, by the time they're my age, they're going to be
totally.
levels and levels above me.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome that you're doing that at such a young age. That's great.
I got that from Maxwell, John C. Maxwell. I read one book, and his kid, he goes to him. He's like, Dad. He's like, I talked to my friend, and my friend told me that his parents gives them money for cleaning at home, for doing chores. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I want money too. And he's like, son, he's like, I don't pay you to be part of the family.
I think I heard that. Yeah, I haven't read it.
He's like, if you want to be part of the family, he's like, if you want to earn money, read some books. And for every book that they read, they earn money. So I did that with my kids. They want money, so I'm like, all right, what do you guys want? All right, here's a book. Go out there and read it, and then tell me. But it's helping because they're starting to see like everything that I'm doing. They see it. Kids are sponges, so that's why.
Totally.
Kudos to you. I have mad respect for you and Luis. I hardly know you guys. I follow you guys on Instagram, and seeing your success and seeing how many people you guys have inspired through the camp has been amazing, because everybody that I talked to from the camp, I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of the owners, and it's exciting, man, because you see them happy, that you see them excited, you see them that they love what they do.
Yeah.
Which is the number one thing.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
So one last thing, anything that you could recommend people that they want to be successful, that they wanna jump, but they're afraid of jumping, and they have some doubts, they have those family members that are in the back of their head, like, don't do this, stick to your 9 to 5, don't jump and go into your own business. Like, what can you tell them? Because you took that leap of faith. You jumped with your husband, with Sam, and you guys decided to build this without even knowing what was the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And now you guys are reaping the rewards. Like, now you guys are succeeding and because you guys have earned it, you guys put in that sweat equity. So what can you tell people that are in the fence right now of jumping?
Mm-hmm. I think it's important to make, first of all, you gotta choose something, I think, that is something that you're passionate about, something that you feel really good about, that you want to be doing, that you would do for free. And then also, fear, it's so common. We all have it, right? But all fear is, lack of information and lack of experience. So if you just go out there and get that information and get that experience, it's going to be so much easier. It's like, think about the first time you ever did, whatever, maybe spoke on stage, right? At the first time, it's like so scary, but after several times, it gets easier and easier and easier. And that's really all fear is. I think you just have to get over it. And really the only thing fear is maybe the fear of, it's like a selfish emotion, the fear of maybe looking dumb in front of people. But if you go and do whatever you want to do, whatever business or whatever thing you want to do, with the mindset that you're helping someone else, you're going to help change someone's lives, whether it be, like selling real estate, maybe you're scared to like knock on doors or whatever, but you could potentially be helping someone buy a house, right? So get over the fear of looking stupid and think about how it's going to benefit the other person, whatever service or product you're offering.
I love that. So choose something that you will love and that you're willing to do for free, and fear is only the lack of practice. Mm-hmm. Because if you have fears because you don't have enough practice, get over it. And the last part, which I love, is stop being selfish. It's not about you, it's about others. By you playing small, you're not serving the other people that could be benefiting from you.
Exactly.
That was huge. I had to write that down because it was awesome. Awesome, Alejandra. Man, this was amazing. 47 minutes. Thank you so much for taking the time today on a Monday, on Memorial Day, to sit down with us and share some information. I'm sure that this is gonna people are going to get a lot of value from it. I got a lot of value, and I'm inspired by you even more now that I got a chance to share these couple minutes with you. Thank you so much, and continue doing what you're doing, because by you growing, you're helping so many other people. By you stepping up,
Jeffrey.
you're inspiring so many other people. You're inspiring me to become a better man and a better husband, and become a better leader, to lead myself to the promised land so I could bring other people with me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to interview me. It was super fun. And I also get inspired by you. I love the fact that you're like putting yourself out there and going for it. You know, forget the fear, forget anything. You're doing it. I love that.